let us try to understand from the practical point of view, right? Let us try to upgrade our understanding, enhance our understanding, and that is how I want to have this session, right? All right. With this hope, let me share the PPT. I hope my screen is visible to all of you. All right. I hope you can see some picture uh, on your screen. Do you have any idea about the picture? Anybody can say. Anybody is there from engineering background, core engineering background? Anybody is there? Or leave it. Engineering, you leave it. Core science background. Anybody is there? Can you say what exactly is it?
I think it's a factory, sir.
A factory, definitely, but which aspect? Any idea about it? If you see this picture, it's a giant, machine. Any idea about it? All right. Let me help you. This is basically this picture I have taken. I have searched internet with boiler facility, right? So boiler you might be knowing, like in thermal plant where electricity is produced or generated, right? So in these plants, this type of manufacturing setup or engineering setup is there for the purpose of generating electricity, right? And you know that electricity is a basic need nowadays. Without electricity, uh, we cannot lead our life, right? Now the thing is, you imagine yourself as a uh, human resource manager in this plant, right? In XYZ plant. So they are basically into electricity generation, electricity production, right? Now, there has been certain requirement or there are certain requirement that you need certain engineers, right? For this particular section, right? Will be running this boiler and all, right? Now, obviously, if there is a requirement, you'll have to recruit people, right? And you're going to recruit an engineer, and it is not possible, or let's say you do not have much knowledge about engineering, or you are not basically from engineering background. So in that case, what exactly you'll be doing? You got my question? So this particular requirement has come from the upper management that we need 5 engineers for this particular segment or for this particular section. And let's say you are not from exactly engineering background, but you'll have to recruit, right? So what would be your next course of action? You'll say, no, I can't, since I do not have engineering knowledge. I can't recruit. As a human resource manager, would you say that? If no, then what you are supposed to be doing or what exactly you'll be doing? You'll do. Let me know. So if you are clear about my question, please let me know by answering yes or no like that. Is my question clear to you? Did you understand my question? Yes. Can I expect any answer? So you are saying that you will say, no, I can't recruit the people or I can't recruit the engineers. You're supporting this statement? So as a human resource professional or as a human resource manager, you cannot say that since I do not have engineering background or since I do not have much knowledge about this particular you know uh, facility, right? I can't recruit people. This statement can't be said because a human resource professional is expected to be there or to be responsible for recruitment and selection. Now, what to do? It is not possible, definitely, if I ask you to recruit a doctor, if you're not a doctor, right? But you'll have to recruit somebody, some doctor. So in that case, what exactly you'll be doing? Here comes the concept of what?
Sir,
Job. Yes.
sir, can we just learn something about that profession? Some very good questions, and we can just know more about that profession and then recruit. Because it's not enough, like we cannot go and study their complete subject and then come and take their interview. So can we do this?
What exactly you'll be doing? Let me know.
So knowing about their profession,
Hmm.
knowing some very good questions or very something very hard one or something, and then asking them about, and also knowing the answer, then going in the recruitment process and then asking them the questions, because we cannot graduate once again in that profession also.
Exactly. That is what my point was. Right. If you are going to recruit a doctor, it is not possible that first you will go and you will be having graduation in medical science, right? Then you'll come back and you'll recruit a doctor. It's not possible. Doesn't make any sense. If you want to recruit an engineer, it is not possible that you will be having BTech or BSc in engineering, bachelor in engineering, or graduation in engineering. Then you'll come back and you'll recruit engineer, right? So it is not possible, but there is a way out. You'll have to recruit, you'll have to be there directly or indirectly. So here comes the concept of what? Job analysis, right? Here comes the concept of job analysis. Now let me uh, simplify it. Yes, it is not possible to be there or to directly recruit the engineers since you cannot, ask, I mean to say the questions which would be required to ask to judge the engineers whether they're capable of doing so or not, right? So for that, you need expert guidance, right? Or you need a panel member or the interviewers where exact engineering profession persons would be there and they would be judged, but you will have to be there in that particular course of action since you're an HR manager. So since you do not have any much knowledge about the core engineering concept or medical science, so what you can do is first, before going for the recruitment, you can try to understand the job itself. right? Those who are presently doing the job or who are already expert, you can have an idea like a engineer is what exactly a particular engineer is supposed to be doing, right? What are the roles and responsibilities and duties they are they should be having, right? This much thing, this much data you can definitely collect. For example, if I am a production manager over there, you can approach me and you can say, sir, you are there for 15 years. So just summarize. I'm going to recruit, there is a vacancy in your department. You also might be knowing, you'll be panel member, but as because I'll be there with you or in this course of action, right? Let me understand that what are the rules and regulations, what are the responsibilities, duties junior engineer is supposed to be carry on. This much I can do. Doable. You agree, right? This is basically known as job analysis. What exactly I'm doing? I'm trying to understand or I'm trying to analyze the job, right? I'm trying to analyze the job. Suppose in this particular area, this is just an hypothetical example I'm giving. For example, if somebody is working over here, what are the roles and responsibilities? If somebody is working over here, if somebody is, required to work over here, right? If somebody is required to be here, so what exactly skill set they should be having? What are the responsibilities they should be having, right? So this much idea I can have. Basically, what I'm doing job analysis. I'm analyzing the job, right? Now, if this is clear to you, why I took this example, why I asked this question. Now, let me move forward. Is basically what is exactly job analysis? So, job analysis is nothing but it is an in-depth investigation, right, about the job. So, if I know the small things about the job, right, then you can, for example, you can recruit the people, you can manage the people in a better way, right? For example, if you are planning to have a, or your brother or sister, right, uh, you'll be having marriage ceremony of your brother and sister, and if you are responsible to manage the entire thing, so you should know the small thing, every aspect of this, particular event, right? Who will be responsible for catering or what are the things that has to be taken care, while you'll be serving food, right? While you'll be taking care of the guest. So every small minute things, if you know, you can manage people in a better way. Of course, you are not supposed to be doing each and everything alone, but you'll have to manage the team, right? So that is what is job analysis, right? So why this concept is very important? The reason being, that if you ask a fish to climb on a tree, right? What will happen? If you force a fish to climb on a tree, what will happen? The fish will think that I'm the most useless guy in this world, right? Which should not be. Fish is comfortable in water. Fish is comfortable in a river, in ocean, right? You can give difficult tasks, fish will do it. But if you ask that, see that monkey is climbing on the tree, and you should also learn how to climb on the tree, the fish will think I'm the useless guy, right? What I mean to say that there should be a perfect match between the job and the employee, right? So whenever you will be recruiting people, obviously you are going to judge their skill set, but their skill set has to be matched with the job, what they'll be doing. So if you do not have idea about the job before, right, before the recruitment, then how will be managing the thing? It is not possible, na? So that is why to create a best fit between the job and the employee, we need job analysis, right? And also another thing is, if you know as an engineer what exactly they're supposed to be doing, what you can do? You can assess their performance, right? My manager or coordinator or my, vice chancellor, he has every idea what a teacher is supposed to be doing, right? What I am supposed to be doing, he has every idea. Now, at the end of the year, he can easily assess my performance based on the criteria because he is clear about my job, right? First thing first, obviously, as a teacher, I'm supposed to be taking classes, right? On time. I'm responsible for student satisfaction. I'm responsible for students understanding. I'm responsible for critical, idea nurturing, right? So this is part of my job, right? So my profession is teaching, definitely. I'm a professor, associate professor. I know that. And my manager, that means the uh, my dean, my vice chancellor, they also know me, right? Me in the sense that my task, what I'm supposed to be doing. So once you have clear idea about the job, you can assess the performance of the candidate. You can assess the performance of the engineer whom you have recruited. Clear? So that is why job analysis is very, very important, right? Sometimes what happens if you know you need to determine the particular worth of a job, right? For example, uh, if somebody is doing very risky job, right? If somebody is doing a job of highly intellectual in nature, right? So in that case, the worth of this job is very, very high. For example, if somebody scientists, right? There is no guarantee that the scientists, those who are involved in research and development, innovation, they will 100% they will get the success. There is no guarantee. But the job is very, very highly intellectual in nature. Somebody thought of storing data. That is why we are, storing data on hard disks, SSD, pen drive, right? Somebody thought of using, having, computer. So that is why we are here, even though we are physically apart, but still we are interacting with, internet facility because I'm also connected with a laptop. You are also connected with a laptop or phone, something else, right? So the job particular person is doing, you need to understand the worth of a job. Why? Because you need to pay salary. So the normal or the basic logic says that if a person is doing some job which is highly worthy, so he deserves better salary, right? So until and unless you understand or you analyze the job, how would you understand what is the worth of the job? It is not possible. Got it? Now, also, job analysis also helps you to understand whether there is any need of training and development, right? So if you know the minute details, right? For example, yeah, probably you are a event manager, right? And you know that in event management, guests, the catering part, right? Food serving part, right? So these are of high importance. Now, if you see that you are getting frequent complaint from, last 3 or 4 clients, you're getting complaint regarding food. That means your staff needs training and development with regard to food. It might be how to prepare tasty food. It might be how to serve, food in a better way. But you need to understand that what exactly you need not to be master chef for that, right? But you should understand that how food is prepared, what are the rules and regulations, what are the responsibilities, right? So that is what job analysis is very important. Now, if I go by the purpose of job analysis, right? I have already told you like performance and analysis and appraisal. Uh, until and unless you do not have idea about the job, you can never ever assess the performance of the employee, right? If you do not know about the job, you can never ever assess the performance of the employee. Now, you need to go for compensation management. This is again another critical part, right? Compensation. If employees are not getting compensation, which they're supposed to be getting, right? Or which they deserve, then what will happen? There will be a lot of dissatisfaction and they will leave your company. So how to align the compensation? First, you understand the job. First, you understand the worth of a job, right? I'll come this concept of job designing, redesigning, and enrichment and enlargement later, right? So for recruitment and selection, for training and development, you need to understand the job, right? Now, if this is very clear to you, let me tell you, there are basically few steps you can follow, right, with regard to job analysis. First thing first, your approach should start with identification of the analysis purpose. Why you need this analysis, job analysis, why you are going for job analysis, whether this is for recruitment, whether this is for you want to make your compensation management better, right? Or whether you need to understand whether there is any need of training and development, right? Or whether you are going to redesign your job. So what is the exact purpose you are going for the job analysis? So this would be the first step, right? Second step would be who will conduct job analysis? Is it you only? Or you are trying to take help from certain other expert, right? Those will be collecting data or conducting survey on behalf of you, right? Second thing would be how to conduct job analysis process, right? How to conduct the job analysis, whether we'll be visiting, physically to understand how the job is being done, or you are going to get certain report based on which you're trying to understand how, job is performed, right? So who to conduct, who will conduct, how it will be conducted, then you need to take the strategic decisions, right? Sometimes what happens, if you are not, you might be expert in job analysis, but you have probably appointed, right, certain other experts, those will be conducting job analysis on behalf of you. So sometimes what happens, you might have to give training to those experts, right, those who are involved in job analysis, right? Then preparation for the job analysis. Then this is the early phase of doing job analysis. Now you are going for the data collection. Now you're trying to understand, right, how different job are conducted or are handled, are operated, right? Then documentation, verification and review, right? Then the last step would be developing job description and job specification, right? Now you might be thinking, sir, what is job description and job specification? So far you have been saying about job analysis. So now from where these two terminologies has come, job description and job specification. So let me give you a clear idea about it. What is about job description? What is about job specification? Basically, these two are part of your job analysis, right? So when you are conducting job analysis, basically in one way or other way, you are doing job description or job specification. And you can say you are doing both job description and job specification. Because without job description and job specification, there is no meaning of doing job analysis. Is it clear? Now, if this is clear, then now let me tell you what is the basic difference between job description and job specification. All right. Okay, would you please confirm so far whatsoever we have discussed, it is clear or not? Would you please confirm?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if this is very clear, why we need to do job analysis, right? Now let me bifurcate it that job analysis is very dependent on job description and job specification, or we can say uh, job description and job specification is an inseparable part of job analysis, right? So what is about job description? See, when you are going for any recruitment, you might have observed there are certain job descriptions which are mentioned in what? Just a second. For example, I am searching jobs in right. I'm just searching jobs in. If there is a job I can see in UAE, and this is the salary which is mentioned, right? The job itself is, about HR assistant, right? So this company, this is the company, they are looking for an HR assistant, which would be in Dubai, UAE, right? So this is the salary range they are offering, right? I'll not comment whether it is good, bad. So that is a different issue that depends on the various factors. But what I am interested to show you is, see, there are certain things which are also mentioned with the advertisement, right? So first thing first is job description. So that means as an HR assistant, what you are supposed to be doing before applying, you should be having an idea, right? So prepares report or data results or presenting, explaining, findings to senior leadership, then develops actionable sorts and long-term goals and benchmark, right, based on the data analysis and presents them to the senior leadership for the approval, right? So and so forth. You can see. Now, also, skill is also mentioned. For example, you should be proficient in Microsoft Office, HR related software, good knowledge of, Mori system, right? Good knowledge of immigration, so and so forth. So this is what job description, they are saying what you are supposed to be doing, and skills, what you are supposed to be having, right? What you are expected to have and what you are supposed to be doing. So this is basically the difference between what? Job description and job specification. Got it? So the job description basically talks about your job title. For example, what was the title? HR assistant. What was the job location? That was in Byway. What was the job summary? Whom you are reporting to? What would be the working condition? Sometimes you are expected to also let the candidates know about the working conditions. Might be the work is highly tedious or highly risky in nature, so that before applying, that particular job, they are clear in their mind what I'm going to do, so that they, do not blame the management or somebody else once they find it difficult. If you have announced in prior that the job is highly risky in nature, and even though they are going and applying, that means they might be passionate about it or they might be needing the job, right? So they are coming knowingly. So there is a less chance that they will leave the job in between. But if you do not declare the risk, you know, aspect of this particular job or any other harsh working condition about this particular job, if they find it difficult in between after joining, then what will happen? They will straight away leave the organization. And they'll leave the organization so suddenly, you'll have to break your head to find another candidate once again. Got my point? So that is why job description is very, very important, right? So job duties, machines to be used. What are the particular machines? What are the hazards? These are involved that I have already discussed. So these statements basically makes job description, right? And what is about job specification? So in simple language, what are the skills they have mentioned in this particular advertisement? You can see, right? These can be said as job specification, right? So what exactly is job specification? Meaning that what should be your qualifications, what should be your experience to carry out the job, or what exactly the level of training that you are expected to have, what are the skill set you are expected to having, what are the responsibility you are expected to have on your shoulder, right? What are the emotional characteristics? What are the sensory demands, right? So these are basically known as job specification. So can I say job specification basically talks about the job, right? Job specification is basically talking about the job, and sorry, job description is talking about the job, and job specification is talking about the job holder. Is my statement wrong if I say so? Sorry. Is it a wrong statement if I say that job description basically talks about the job itself, and job specification is basically talking about the job holder? That means the person who will be doing the job. Is my statement wrong?
So you are correct, sir.
Yes. So basically, what can I say? I can say job description talks about the job itself, right? And job specification talks about the job holder or the candidate who will be carrying out the job. So that is the main difference between job description and job specification. But to know about the skill set which they would be required, you first understand about the job. Got my point? And both these together make job analysis. Now, if I go by the point, the previous point, you can say at last what exactly I am doing as a job analysis process. I am developing. Got it. Yes. So I am developing what? Job description and job specification. So this is the end of job analysis process, right? And what is about job description and job specification that I have discussed, right? So in detail, I'll share this PPT with you in detail about job description and everything I have, uh, you know, already communicated, already discussed. This is about the job will be, you're supposed to report whom, right? For example, as an, professor, I'm supposed to report to my dean, right? Dean is supposed to report to the vice chancellor, right? So and so forth. So whom I'm supposed to be reporting, or the candidate who will be joining, whom he's supposed to report, what is the job summary, nature, task and duties, everything will make job description, right? So why we need job description? So that we can have clear idea about the candidate. First thing first job, then the candidate whom I'll be recruiting, right? All right. Now job specification I have already highlighted. So this is a written statement about the educational qualification. For example, for this, let me check for this particular job. Is there any educational qualification they have written or not? Company or industry they have written, that is more into hospitality industry, right? Uh, Preferred candidate, yeah, this looks very bad, but still, in certain cases, in certain conditions, company, prefer male candidate over female candidate. Though I do not support it, but again, case to case basis might be, in certain cases, male candidates are required, right, or are preferred. In certain cases, mainly you can see it in product, hardcore production sector or manufacturing sector, or in certain, in few countries, in military, right, defense, we'll see that, mostly male candidates are preferred, though we are in 21st century. We should believe in, equality, right? But yeah, that's a debatable matter. I'm not going into that particular aspect. But if they mention that we need MBA, we need BBA, then also it will come under job specification, right? So job specification is about educational qualification and the specific qualities you were supposed to be having for carrying out the to carry out the job, right? It might be your physical, it might be your emotional quotient, so and so forth, right? So why is it needed? So far you are clear why job specification is needed. The reason being, why? The reason being, once you are clear that once I sit for this interview, I'll be recruiting MBA candidate. I'll be recruiting a candidate who will be having 2 years of experience at least. I'll be recruiting the candidate who will be having, who are proficient in MS Excel or might be knowing advanced Excel, right? So if you are clear about the criteria, then you don't have to find it much difficult during the interview process. You can easily see whether the person has completed MBA or not. If he has not completed MBA, probably you are going to reject. The reason being you have analyzed that for this particular job, MBA is required. Getting my point? So job specification is very, very critical so that you can minimize the failure rate during your interview process, right? All right. If you uh, want to highlight any particular thing, you can definitely. So let us have a discussion whether if you have any experience with regard to this particular thing, you're most welcome to share your idea, or if you want to share anything.
Sir,
No, sir.
hello.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
I'm asking about do HR have any kind of internship or what?
I did not get your question. What are you asking question about internship opportunities in human resource management?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely. There are ample number of you can definitely go for internship. There are lot many remote internships are available. You go and there are country wise also there are certain job portals, right? You can definitely go and you can search HR internship, right?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So you can search, see from LinkedIn. If I search LinkedIn, you can also write human resource internship. You can make it, for example, India wise, if you try to understand, right? So see, there are lot many human resource internship available. For example, Hindustan Wellness is a company where they are looking for human resource internship in Gurgaon. Right, soft clues, they're looking for human resource internship. Right, BBA fashion, they are also looking for human resource internship. But most of these, I think, uh yeah. So you can see what you are supposed to be doing about the company and employment type is an internship, right? You can here select remote, done. And you can see only those internships which are in remote, you know, that means work from home or you can do from anywhere else, right? So many, opportunities are there. My suggestion would be if you are passionate about human resource management, then I will start applying in those internships, right? Who knows, probably tomorrow or day after tomorrow or next week or next month, you might get a call for this internship opportunity and you can definitely add these in your CV, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I was serious about this. That do we get job or how do they take in human resource or how can we apply in human resource management? Because we are the people who will who will employ somebody. So how will they be employing us or giving us even an internship? So I was just curious about it, and I will really see this. How can I apply? Thank you, sir, so much.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
this was really important for me.
yeah, thank you. All right, if you have any other question, you can definitely ask me. I would love to answer. Before I proceed further,
But sir, do these internship really help? Because I've heard some people's experiences about it, and they weren't very happy. They said they didn't learn anything, or they weren't making them do any real work. So I don't know.
Sorry, your voice is coming, breaking to me. I don't know whether. Would you please come again once?
Can you
What you
hear
were
me, sir?
saying? Yeah, bit better. Yeah, tell me.
I was asking, do these internship really helps? Because I've heard some people's like personal experiences, and they weren't very happy about it. They were like they didn't really learn anything, or it wasn't helpful. They didn't company didn't make them do the real work or what they were supposed to do. So I don't know. Is it about company or that's like overall picture?
No, it depends on company. In companies, different company has different work culture, different companies have different, ethics, right? Different company have different value system. So uh, definitely that is why I would rather suggest you if you're going for internship or something else, something like that, or even full-time employment. So you first search about the company, take the feedback, those who have already worked in that particular company. Right, that would basically help you to understand about the work culture, right? Whether you are going to see internship is still okay. Internship you are going for only 4 to 5 months or 3 months or 1 month or 2 months or max to max 6 months, right? You will be going for an internship. But for full-time employment, it's very important to have the idea about the company work culture. Then you join the company. That would be better, right? So it depends on the company. It varies from company to company.
Yeah, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Uh, okay. Now the idea is we need to go deeper in from job analysis, right? And we should move towards job evaluation. Now, for example, uh, there are job A, right? Job B. There are ample number of job in a particular company or in any organization, right? Ample types of job, ample number of job, uh, uh, different kind of jobs are there, right? So if you have understood job A, if you have understood job B, if you have understood analyze job C, and if you have analyzed job D, now it's time to evaluate, right? To evaluate and compare. Why? Because until and unless you compare them, you cannot give pay equity, right? You cannot achieve pay equity, right? For example, if the job B is highly intellectual in nature, then the person who are doing the job, for example, there are 5 persons or 3 persons whatsoever, the persons who are doing the job, they deserve better salary, right? If this job C is highly, not very intellectual, but highly risky in nature, physically threatening threats are there. Probably they're working in power station, high voltage power station, right? One single mistake would claim life. In that case, what will happen, right? In that case, you need to make a structure or your salary structure in such a way that they are, you know, paid well. The workers or the employees, those who are involved in this particular, job, they are paid well, right? So based on different factor, until and unless first you understand and compare the job, it is very difficult to achieve the pay equity. What are the drawbacks of pay inequity? Who can tell me? If there is no equity in your pay structure, in your salary structure, what could be the possible drawbacks? Tell me.
They would leave the job.
Ah, but leaving the job is the last option. Before leaving, what could be the possible threat?
You would like complain to HR probably.
Yeah. So complaining to HR, that means that why they're complaining? Because they're
So can you just explain the pay equity a bit better? Like
all
I did
right.
not understand.
All right, then let me show you a picture. You'll understand what is equity. Can you see this picture?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What did you understand from this picture?
Sir, I can understand from this picture is that a person who cannot do better or cannot see has got the particular stages or have particular steps to put him forward, and according to their need they have got the steps to see the match, and who is not required has not been given. So one is equality and one is equity. Equity is getting the point of things to the people who are required.
So basically, as you can see, the person does not need, if I talk about this person does not need these, blocks at all, because he is tall enough to see the match, right? And so if a manager is saying that I have distributed the compensation equally and I have done a good job, probably he is wrong. Sometimes what happens, certain section or certain workers or employee, those who are doing, as I have said, like highly intellectual in nature or certain risky job, right? From the upfront, it might not seem to be very important job, but that might involve risk. So in that case, you need to support them financially, might be monetary, might be compensation wise, right? So this is known as equity, right?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Now, my question was, what is the drawback of not achieving equity in an organization? So one question, one answer I have received response I got, that is,
So people will not work according to their need, because if they are working hard they even need to have a good pay or good equity or what the things. So if they will not, they will mentally be unsatisfied, so they will work even mentally unsatisfied in their work. So and if not, they will always be in search of something different, in a chance of leaving that space.
yeah, basically what happens, like as you have said, and the uh, who has said earlier, sorry, I'm not being able to understand the name. The reason being my screen is visible. So who exactly is talking or interacting is not. But those who are interacting with me, thank you so very much, right? This is how a class should be conducted, right? Uh, yeah, as you have said that they might complain each other. That means why they're complaining? Because they are dissatisfied. right? They are agitated, they are dissatisfied. So what exactly happened? There are different level of dissatisfaction, right? So if you are very, dissatisfied, if you are dissatisfied to this extent, probably you will keep mum. Probably you will not speak, you will not interact, right? If I'm dissatisfied with you, right? If I'm not happy working with you, right? I might keep my mouth shut. Probably I'll not interact. But if I see, then also you're bothering me, or then also my dissatisfaction level is going high, then I'll interact probably, right? So I'll go and complain HR, right? That, you're not being able to, you're not letting me to do the work, so and so forth. So there are different label, and as per the label, our reaction gets different. For example, at the very nascent stage, I am silent. Then I'm starting reacting. I'm going. Then one step might come where I can be involved with you. I mean to say that in a very negative way. Right, probably you have seen very common workplace. People are fighting, people are abusing each other, right? So these are different level of dissatisfaction. Nobody abuses other if he is satisfied, if he is happy, right? If somebody is happy and abusing, probably he's a mad, right? No normal person can do so being happy and they're complaining, right? So this is what is happened in case of if you want to get the pay equity, right? So that people are not dissatisfied, people are not demotivated, right? You need to start with job analysis. Then you need to compare the job, right? Then you can give, okay, for A, this is probably less worthy. So the salary range would be probably, so, $100 to $200, so and so forth. Just an example. So probably job D is much worthy or important than job A. So it could be $300 to $400, right? Job B is highly intellectual in nature. So the, compensation would be, or the salary range would be $1,000 to $2,000 or $1,000 to $1,500. And job C is highly risky in nature. So again, I can give a little bit similar compensation, $1,000 to 1,500, so and so forth, right? So this is called pay equity. I'm not giving everybody same, right? If you are doing that, I'm giving everybody, if you are giving, $500 to $600 to every job holder, and if you are claiming that you have done a good job, no, you did not do the good job, right? So you should achieve the pay equity, right? All right, so for achieving pay equity, job evaluation is very, very important, right? Why job evaluation is needed, as we have already discussed, to determine the equitable wage structure, to eliminate the wage inequities, right? Uh, to have a consistent wage policy, sometimes to minimize the discrimination based on, it might be caste, it might be religion, right? It might be region, it might be gender, so and so forth, right? So this is the objective of job evaluation. Now, you might be thinking, sir, how to evaluate the job, how to compare the job, right? I can compare two-person based on different criteria. But how to compare job? Yes, this is also possible. What you can do, you can have also or decide different criteria. For example, there are ranking method, right? So probably you have identified there are 5 jobs, right? So less jobs is not possible, but probably A, B, C, D, E. So what exactly you are doing in paired comparison method and ranking method, probably you are first comparing job A with job B. Then you are comparing job B with job C with job D, so on and so forth. So it's known as peer comparison method. And also you are comparing with job D to job A, right? Job B to job D and job C to job A. See every pair with A to B, B to C, C to D, B to D, D to A, and D to C to A. So this is known as comparison method, right? And based on this comparison method, what exactly you'll be doing, you can uh, rank the job. For example, if I give you an idea, if you're a football fan, if you have seen, soccer league or World Cup, right? Or a cricket fan or a IPL fan, right? So we have different matches in, initially. So based on the paired competition, uh, table is prepared. For example, team number one. So for example, at the end of the 10 matches, this team tops the table, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So what exactly you are doing? You are ranking the job, right? Now, the question might come, all right, let me tell you, another thing also is possible, for example, job classification. So you can simply you can classify the job, for example, it could be as per the CEO, as per the vice president, as per the director, as per the manager, as per the operator, right? So these are different classifications, right? Now next could be factor comparison method, right? Factor comparison method, right? What is factor comparison method? For example, if I'm comparing two students or two person, I have different factors to compare. For example, if you tell me, suppose I am comparing person A and person B, what are the criteria we'll be looking? What are the factors? Tell me.
Sir, if they are a student, you might be looking for their grades because you are a teacher.
Exactly. Okay,
Second, their
okay. Second,
behavior, their response in the class, and
okay,
act how they put themselves in the curricular activities.
okay. Anything else? Anything else? That's it. So I am comparing A and B, and you are saying if they're student, then I will be having different comparison. For example, if first you have talked about grade, that means score, then you are talking about response in class, right? Then anything else? As a student, only these two matters.
Sir, behavior.
All right. Their overall behavior. Their overall behavior. Right. Okay. Anything else? Then in behavior, different factors might come. For example, to give you idea, I might be behaving I am suppose I have seen lot many person who speaks with a sugar coating way, right? Never ever he will use bad words to you. But looking at the other aspect, probably they are coming late. So is it a indication of good behavior if they are not punctual, right?
So
So
that depends upon the where they live or what is their issue. We can ask, but it's not always that a student is it means it is sometimes I have been myself a student who was late in the school because my house was very too far from my house. So you judge me in that way, it will be very wrong for me.
Anna, what I'm saying, like, yeah, I can understand your house is very far from the thing, but if in an organizational setup, being an employee, if you think from the perspective of an employee, if you are coming late, can you give excuse that quote unquote excuse? I'm not saying excuse in a negative manner, quote unquote excuse. Can you say that I'm living far from my company and that is why I'm getting late? So would it be considered?
No sir, we cannot.
It will not be considered. The reason being, your punctuality is one of the indicator. Your punctuality would be one of the indicator in certain cases, mostly in organizational setups, right? You can say fortunately or unfortunately. You can say, sir, if I can submit my work on time, what's wrong whether I am coming 10 minutes late or 15 minutes late? That's a debatable issue again. But if your company expects you to be on time, you'll have to be on time, right? So in that case, punctuality probably would be an indicator, right?
Yes
So
sir.
from yeah, so from a student's perspective, now you tell me this grade, response in class, behavior, and punctuality. All these four factors are of similar weightage. Yes or no? Did you get my question? If you're judging a
Yes sir.
student, if you're judging a student, grade, response in class, behavior, and punctuality are all four items or factors would have same weightage?
No sir.
No, does not happen. Because again, fortunately or unfortunately, our society is much more tilt towards grade, right? Once the
Yes sir.
result is, yeah, once the result is out, once you have your report card, right? Most of the parents, they are interested to see your grade. Now, no student will say that probably they have achieved grade in some other way, or you can understand what I'm trying to say, right? But grade would always have greater importance as a student. So I can give grade 10 points. I can give response to the class again 6 points. I can give behavior, overall behavior as 8 points, right? And I can give punctuality as uh, 6 points, right? So you can see 10, 6, 8, 6. that comes to 30, right? So out of 30, I'll be measuring the performance of student A and student B. And these are my factors, which are of different weightage. Similarly, I can, I mean to say, compare the jobs, right? Job A and job B with different, gradings or different factors. For example, in this case, I can, make a factor knowledge and skill, right? So here, what can I do is so knowledge and skill. This is one factor. Communication required to carry out the job. Decision making, right? What is the impact, right? Then people management, right? Then freedom to act. That means autonomy, which is required to carry out the job. Few jobs are there which needs greater autonomy, right? So these are the factors, and definitely knowledge and skill would have highest weightage to uh, understand or analyze job, right? So how much knowledge and skill required to carry out job A and how much knowledge and skill required to carry out job B, that would definitely matter. But once we are comparing among the factors, knowledge and skill would be the highest priority. Might be 60% or might be 50% priority knowledge and skill. And other all together comes up to 50%. Did you get my point? Now this is known as factor comparison method. Right now you can assign different marks. So out of 50 point, job A would require from the aspect of knowledge and skill probably 30%, and job B would require 45%. So highly skill and knowledge is required to carry out job B. But that's not all. You have certain other also, communication, decision making, impact, so and so forth. Right. So point factor method is almost similar, and this is a graphical representation of how to evaluate your job. For example, phase one, what exactly will be needing? You'll be needing, planning and diagnosis. Then you need to design and development, right? Then validation and modeling, then communication and rollout, right? So before evaluating your job, you need to understand the job, you need to analyze your job, you need to plan and diagnosis, right? Then you need to design and development the entire procedure, then validation and modeling, then only you can communication and rollout. Now, if this is clear, now the next concept would be job designing, right? Job design, right? All right. I'm quite sure about, all of you have friends, all of you visit your, friends' home. Uh, might be your friends also come to your home, right? So it's a quite common during student life, right? Now, once you visit friends' home, you must have noticed in certain cases, some of your friends' room are highly organized. The design is so creative, but not much resources have been used, right? Less resources, but they have designed it wonderfully. And you might have experienced that you are visiting some other friends, and their study room is, quite hazy, right? Hazy in the sense that messy, not organized well, right? Very few things are kept, but as because not organized well, it looks like so many things are kept in the room, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now you can relate with the, practical, reality, right? So this exactly happens with job as well, right? And to design the job in a proper way is known as job design, right? Somebody is doing the same job in a different way, in a highly effective manner. And you'll see some other person is doing the same job with a very tedious way, in a very highly ineffective manner, right? So the difference is you need to have efficiency while you are, doing the job. You need to maintain the efficiency, right? So that it leads to higher productivity, quality of work is good, right? So that people have low absence, lower employee turnover. If you make a job complex in nature, so people will not understand and they will, get dissatisfied and they will leave your organization. But if you simplify your job in a very better way, it would be easily understood, right? People will like to do the job. They will not be, make absent from the job intentionally, and they are going to stay with you for the long time. So now it is your understanding whether you will be making the job like this, which is not recommended, or like this. So theoretically, I can draw the picture to make you understand, but practically you cannot draw it. You need to implement it, right? So how to do this job design? There are 4 methods. How many methods? 4 methods, right? This is basically known as first method being one of the simplest method, that is job rotation. Another simple method would be job simplification. Other methods being job enlargement and job enrichment, right? Is it clear? So there are 4 methods.
Yes.
Yes. Job rotation, job simplification, job enlargement, and job enrichment, right? Acha, what is your understanding on job rotation? Who can say? Let me check. Let me check. Who can say what could be job rotation?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, it might be that the upliftment of the employee who is doing better.
No, not exactly. Okay, nice try. Yeah, this is related with upliftment, but not exactly upliftment. This happens in an in other way. All right. Any other? Okay, let me share you a yes.
I said no idea, sir.
Okay. Ajo, let me share a story with you. So I visited bank. Uh, I was then a student, right? I visited bank, and there was certain issues with my bank account, right? That was a student account during my student days, right? Uh, I could not do transactions because of certain issues. Then my father suggested me to visit bank and to meet with Mr. X. I'm not revealing the exact name, but Mr. X. Then I asked my father where Mr. X sits, right? And what is his profile, right? Uh, my father said that Mr. X is basically an accountant, mostly a cashier. Cashier, you must be knowing that, who handles cash in bank, right? The liquid cash. So he during that time he was a cashier. Now he is a retired person, um, and he suggested me to meet with Mr. X in that bank. So I went to bank. Then I asked, uh, where is Mr. X, right? Then I found Mr. X on a desk where it was written uh, somebody else's name, and it was written public relations, PR, right? PR. Then I asked Mr. X, sir, you are, if I'm not wrong, you are the cashier of the bank. You mostly handles cash, right? So why you are sitting on, you are on peer desk, means public relations. Then he said that actually it is a part of my job. Once or twice in a week, the peer, who is the actual peer, he comes to my desk, he handles cash, and I go there and I handle peer operations. That means I address public issues, or I maintain public relations twice a week, 2 days in a week. I said, why is it so? Then what is your idea? Why is it happening? Is there as a logic?
Are they
Th-
sort of a backup plan for each other? Like if one is absent, the other can handle the other job too.
Exactly, that might be a possible reason. So that is a reason number one, possible reason number one. Any other reason?
So knowing about their experience, how do they work, and even like respecting their job, that they even matlab people, even when they work, they think that the other employee is not doing that well, or they are getting job for free of cost or something, they are just don't do so for might be for respecting or something, for social
Oh,
values.
all right, all right. Possible number two, I got it. Possible number three. What is possible number three? Why is it happening so? All right, today, if I give you a lot of cash, right? You'd be initially very happy, right? Everybody loves money. Most of us loves to have money so that they can live their life. So having money in your own bank account is different. But you imagine yourself from day to night, you're handling cash, you're counting money, knowing that not even a single penny belongs to you, or not even a single penny you can take from this much of, money. So how do you feel? You tell me. That means that if I ask you to count money day and night, how do you feel? Would you feel very happy?
Sir, I would feel like,
Yeah, go on. You.
so can you hear me what I said?
Yeah, I can't hear you. Yeah, now you are audible. Yeah.
Sorry. I said that I will work hard so much that my even bank account has so much of money.
That is okay, but that is good. You can work hard so much, but you are already working hard. You are counting money. I'm not saying not demeaning anyone's profession, but it's a reality. Sometimes what happens, a few people they do job which is highly tedious in nature, highly monotonous in nature. Imagine that you are just counting money, and you should be very cautious for each and every single entry. So if there is any shortfall in entry, sometimes it may happen that you might have to give money from your pocket because this is not your money. You might be counting millions, billions, right? But at the end of the day, if you cannot match, probably your bank authority might force you, and that has happened. There are ample number of incidents that has happened. People are forced to give from pocket to match the, entries. So first thing first, you're doing job which is highly tedious in nature, right?
Wouldn't that, sir, really be like on the situation of the person? If he's having a like financial problem, then they would really feel frustrated counting money all day and won't be able to take it.
Yeah, definitely. But you'll feel frustrated, right? In that case. But I have spoken lot many, cashiers, accountants, and one common thing that they have highlighted is, yeah, definitely they enjoy doing their work. They love their profession, but every time counting money and keeping records and everything, sometimes it becomes very monotonous in nature, very monotonous. Only you're just concerned about the numbers, right? Nothing else. Here, I love teaching. I love teaching. I love, this profession. The reason being, I get satisfaction with interacting with you guys, right? With you, students, right? I love to exchange ideas. I love to exchange, knowledge, right? So there's a prime motivation. That is why I never ever feel bored. Even I can take continuous 4 hours of classes because this is the source of my motivation. But if I start counting money, counting notes, right, within 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I'll get bored. So that is why I shared this story with you is that is why this Mr. X told me that cashier job, you're a student, that is why you are having, asking question, but let me answer. Cashier is a job which is highly risky in nature. Every single penny we need to be very careful, and at the, counting money only every time is become tedious. So the bank has taken a policy so that I can come out from this monotony, so that I can enjoy my job. So they have added another, uh, or they have rotated my job twice in a nature, twice in a week. Uh, the peer guy will come here at my place and I'll go 2 days in a week to handle a peer operation. So you just think from the perspective of peer, right? He is basically what a peer he is supposed to be. What is the responsibilities of a peer? Who can tell me? Peer person. What is their responsibility?
Public opinion, public relationships, sir. They are giving
Public
advice and
relationships. Exactly. So they are basically into maintaining the image of the bank. They are into answering the questions, giving their advices, right? You imagine yourself for probably, 8 hours continuously. You are talking to people. So that is another monotonous situation, right? That is another monotonous situation. if continuously you're talking to people and you're supposed to talk to people, interact to people, that is another monotonous situation. So in cashier, he's not talking to people most of the time and he's getting bored. And the PA, most of the time he's talking to people and he's getting tired, right? So twice in a week, if they exchange their job, they'll feel happy. Getting my point? So this is known as job rotation. Now you got it. What is job rotation? So basically you are rotating the job, right? So this is known as job rotation. Now, job simplification is very easy to understand. Job simplification means that breaking the job in such a way that you feel very, very comfortable to do the job, right? So that is known as job simplification. So simplifying our job. Now, other two components being job enlargement and job enrichment. So what is job enlargement and job enrichment? Basically, what happens in case of job enlargement, you will be given certain additional activities, but within the same hierarchical level. So that is why it is known as horizontal expansion, right? For example, sometimes as a teacher or I am apart from teaching, I am also supposed to do what? Research, right? I'm also supposed to do research. I'm also supposed to do, take examination, student evaluation, right? And based on the student evaluation, sometimes I'm also expected to give individual feedback to the students where the things are going wrong. Probably they are not being able to score good marks. Why? What are the factors, right? What is hindering them? So giving feedback, right? So these different job are getting added or tasks are getting added into my profession, right? I'm also into training, right? I'm supposed to train, means not supposed to, but as I love training, I go and I talk to people, I train them on certain, certain topics or certain issues, right? So as a trainer also, I'm also expected to act as a trainer, right? So there are different see horizontal expansion, right? So that is why I told you I love teaching, because there are so many things to explore. Research, you can do, training, you can give student feedback, you can interact with student. But if you imagine, if I'm only expected to talk to students, or only if I'm expected to take classes for 8 hours, what would be my situation? If I talk continuously 8 hours, probably next day, I won't be in a situation to speak. We are not robots, right? We are human beings. We have certain capacities. Yeah, I can speak for 4 hours a day continuously. Or if you give break, I can speak, 5 hours a day. But can you expect me to speak continuously 8 hours only to take class? No, not possible. So I need certain other things also to do. And fortunately, as a teacher, I have this scope. I can go for training, I can go for research, right? And I can enjoy my time along with taking classes. This is known as job enlargement. So you are enlarging your job. And what is job enrichment? Sometimes what happens, most specifically, uh, you know, sometimes you might be given some higher authority job. For example, what your manager is doing, few part of your few manager's job your manager might give to you, right? Why? Probably your manager is trying to mold you in such a way, once he leaves the organization, you can become a next manager, right? So that is why few small things or higher order job they are giving to you. So this is known as job enrichment. Got my point? All right. So that is what I was I plan to discuss with you, that is job analysis and job evaluation, right? So I hope that this is quite clear now. Now, if this is clear, so we have 10 minutes in our hand. So let us, focus on the next chapter, which is already discussed. Few of the parts I have already discussed with you, that is recruitment and selection, right? And I have already told you there is difference between recruitment and selection, because that um, recruitment is basically attracting the candidates so that they can apply, right? So that they apply in your job, and based on their application, what you'll be doing, you'll be analyzing their CV, you'll be shortlisting their CV, and you are calling for an interview. So the moment you are calling for an interview, from their selection procedure starts, right? And what is the recruitment, importance of recruitment? You know that you need good people to run the organization. Rotten potatoes, if any rotten potatoes comes in a particular, bucket with other potatoes, what exactly happens?
Other
It will
potato also
spoil other.
started
Exactly.
rotten.
Exactly. It can spoil the other potatoes also, good potatoes also. So you need to keep this rotten potato out of your organization once you are human resource manager. So there's the most challenging part. So you need to understand, nobody will come and nobody will say during interview, I am a bad guy. Nobody says. Even the worst criminal might be they, during interview, he will portray himself or herself as a most suitable candidate. Getting my point? Where the challenge lies. The criminal one, the most notorious candidate, might portray in front of you or in a panel as a most suitable candidate. But you should be intelligent enough to understand. Because once he is in your organization, he can spoil others. That is why it is the most, I mean to say, I consider it as one of the tough task as a human resource manager. Rotten potato you can still see from outer context, but you cannot judge a candidate on spot within 10 minutes of interview. It's very difficult, but you should be having that much of sense. That is why the recruitment is very important, right? So if we talk about recruitment, there are basically two sources. One is internal sources of recruitment, and another one is, I mean to say, the external sources of recruitment, right? Any idea about internal sources of recruitment? Can you say? Who can say what are the internal sources of recruitment? What are the external sources of recruitment?
Sir, if I am not wrong, then I guess internal sources are those which we know that these people are eligible and we directly contact them, and external sources are where we advertise that we needed to have some job employment in our company.
All right. Any other response can I expect?
Internal sources, sir, wouldn't be the like the juniors you giving position to them, and external you recruiting like selecting new people.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, Basically, let me tell you. Just a second. Yeah. Yes, sometimes what happens, like if you are working in a junior position, right? For example, if you are working as a junior manager, and if there is a vacancy in your organization, right? So you are working as a junior manager, right? And there is a vacancy as a senior manager or manager, right? There is a vacancy over here. So company might think that you are the most suitable candidate and company might give you promotion, and company might promote you as a senior manager if you are eligible, right? So what exactly has happened in this particular case? The company recruited the person within the company. So from the company, right, from the junior level to senior level, a person got recruited, and that is basically known as, internal sources of recruitment, right? So internal sources of recruitment could be transfer as well. For example, if we are working in India, right, and the company also has a production facility or manufacturing plant in, let's say, in Afghanistan as well. So the company might think of transferring you to Afghanistan, right? So that the reason being might be you are having a good record in this company and you have better, emotional intelligence quotient, right? And company might know that even if you go with, to the other country, you can adjust the environment or whatsoever, which is quite normal, right? So if you can overcome or you can adjust. So in that case, they can transfer you. So what exactly has happened again within the company? A person got recruited, right? So this is another internal sources of recruitment. Got my point? Sometimes company might, employ the former employee or the employee who has got retired, right? So I have seen in my, experience. Uh, so there was a guy who is very, very senior, right? So I visited once this battery manufacturing, company. Those who make batteries for vehicles and home uses as well, right? And in that particular batteries, there are a lot many chemical, substances, items are kept. For example, acid is of course there. Lead plate is there, right? Uh, so everywhere quality maintenance is very, very critical in nature. So they used to make one particular, kind of plate out of different substances, and they used to send for quality control. And there used to be, high machines kept. And if you send these plates through this machine, plate would give, machine would give indications whether this qualify the quality or not. Surprisingly, I also got shocked probably for the first time I experienced this. There was a guy who is very senior person who was there for 25 years in that particular department. What he used to do, he used to take the plate and he used to taste the plate with his tongue. You would surprise. I could not believe when first time I saw he is tasting with his own tongue. He took the taste and he said whether the plate qualifies for the further production or not. Right? How he has developed this skill, from where he got this skill, I do not know, God knows. So one of the explanation could be experience, right? So probably during those days when he started his career, probably this much of highly competitive machines were not available, and they had to dependent on certain other things. So he tried different other means, and he already know different methods. So few years back rather, I visited once again. I saw the same person in that particular department. He is probably close to 68 now. It's still working. The company has recruited a person with special provision. The reason being he has this unique quality which nobody had. So that is recruiting the former employees. Right. There are a lot many incidences like that. So these are basically, sometimes I might ask you that whether you have brother or you have certain colleagues you can refer. So this employee referral would be another internal sources of recruitment. Now, what are the external sources of recruitment could be? The external sources of recruitment could be, for example, sources of recruitment then, for example, if you are putting advertisement in newspaper, in different job portals, right? For example, as I have already shown you, that was an external sources of recruitment, right? So the company has put an advertisement in in job portal, and they are expecting the candidates to apply for that particular position, right? They will get the application, they will shortlist the CV, they will conduct the interview. That means that company is having candidate from the outside. So that is known as external sources of recruitment, right? So external sources of recruitment could be, campus hiring is one of the quite common. Companies might visit your college, or company might visit your, institution, right? And they can hire, candidates from, university or from that college. So that is known as campus hiring. We all know. So that is again another sources of external recruitment. Sometimes it has happened like word of mouth, right? If I'm very happy working with the company where I'm working, so I can recommend my friend that if you're searching for the job, you can apply in my company. So that's word of mouth. And company, most of the famous company or reputed companies get application through word of mouth only, right? So this is another sources of external recruitment. All right, so I will discuss this in the next session. So the recruitment and selection, and more specifically induction, in the next session we'll be discussing, right? And training and development, right? So these are the things we'll discuss in the next class. And for today, I hope you have enjoyed the session. You have understood the context and the concepts. And thank you once again for interacting with me. I'll I'll take your leave. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.
You, sir. Bye.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
sir.
sir.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Good, thanks, sir. Bye.